I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and I was mentioning this. They said, like, everybody donate to Joe Biden, and I responded with, I will never vote for someone from the Obama administration. You fool me once, fool me twice, yada yada yada. But pro-war, so no dice. And I ultimately, there was some conversation about, will they swap out Joe Biden with somebody else? At this point, I don't think so. I think it's Biden Harris. We're in it for the long haul. Kamala Harris is clearly the front runner. The ticket's inverted. It's a silly game they're playing.
Yeah.
But, maybe before this happened, it was like maybe Cuomo. And I ultimately said, at this point, I'm likely going to be voting for Trump. And my friend was like, not happy with it. Like, I trust you. I've known you. And I assume you've researched this. And I said, listen, man, in California, they voted to repeal civil rights law. Right? I understand if you're a white liberal who grew up in a wealthy suburb or middle class suburb, you don't have those stories in your life from your family about what it means to have accomplished civil rights. I remember that photo of, you've seen the photo of Bernie Sanders being arrested during the civil rights movement?
Yeah.
It's a famous photo and everyone cheers for Bernie for that. The only problem is these people are trying to turn the clock back. They don't support Bernie's ideas from when he fought for this.
Yep.
That meant a lot to me when I saw that photo of Bernie. I'm like, man, here's a guy who actually fought for civil rights.
But okay, so this kind of gets me too, because if you care about your friend and you know that your friend is, for example, mixed race and has a history of growing up in a mixed race household, wouldn't you be like, you know what? I'm going to put myself in your shoes and try to understand where you're coming from and be like, maybe you're right.
Well,
maybe
my friend
I should
did.
Look into this. This is crazy. Good. That's great. That's good to hear.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these are people I've known my whole life, and they literally said, I trust that you've done your research and you know what you're talking about, but, wow. And then we had some, minor private conversation and complete disagreement, but I just said, do you know what it's like when you have a Democratic base in this country that has adopted a cult-like ideology based on literal racism? What it means to my family and like what we see when they literally voted to do this in California. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, there are people I've known who, I want to be vague enough about it, but people in my extended family who were they immediately saw that and they went, it's Trump, it is.
Trump it is
like,
then.
We've lived through this.
Yeah, not again.
We've lived through it. Nope, sorry. And I think when it's really easy for these leftists to say things like, we're going to do affirmative action and it's going to be good for everybody. Yes, there are some races that are probably going, it's good for me. If you're black in this country, they're telling you they'll benefit you. They'll give you more access if you're Latino. If you're white or Asian, however, they're saying the opposite. But more importantly, what if you're a mix?
Yeah, the smallest minority, for example.
And all of a sudden now, everything they're proposing is like, you go to the gutter.